The Middle East simmers with a tension as ancient as the desert sands. In the heart of this tempest lies Israel, a nation locked in conflict that ebbs and flows like the relentless tide. News reports blaze with headlines of strikes, skirmishes, and the ever-present looming shadow of war. Amidst this maelstrom, a technological marvel takes flight, rewriting the rules of aerial warfare. Enter the F-35 Lightning II. A stealthy specter of the skies, the embodiment of American military might. More than a mere fighter jet, the F-35 represents a lifeline, a strategic assist deployed by the United States to bolster Israel's defenses and tip the balance in this volatile struggle. How, you might ask, does this extraordinary ghost-like aircraft change the tide in Israel's battle? Well, let's find out. Welcome to Tactical Cinema, your premier destination for military combat entertainment. In this relentless and intricate conflict, raw firepower alone would never yield victory.
Say hello to my little friend!
Israel needs an edge. It needs to exploit every single technological advancement at its disposal to stay one step ahead in the dance of war. That's precisely where the F-35 enters the fray. The Lightning II embodies these advancements, an aeronautical marvel designed to see without being seen, strike with pinpoint precision, and protect Israel's sovereignty. Let's explore the technology that elevates this combat aircraft into a game changer for the Middle East. The power of invisibility, omniscience, and strategy precision. The F-35's greatest weapon is its inbuilt invisibility. It isn't simply about flying below the enemy's notice. It's about fundamentally erasing its presence from their electronic eyes. Much like a chameleon in the sky, the F-35's skin is coated with special radar-absorbent materials, RAM, soaking up enemy radar waves like a sponge instead of bouncing them back. The aircraft's meticulously sculpted angles and smooth surfaces serve the same purpose. Imagine an angled mirror deflecting a beam of light. The F-35 acts in much the same way, scattering radar waves into oblivion. Moreover, unlike older jets bristling with external weapons and equipment, the F-35's arsenal is tucked away internally, maintaining its sleekness and reducing its electronic footprint. Being invisible is cool, but what good is it if you can't see your opponent? That's where the F-35 sensor suite comes in. Let's talk about that AN/APG-81 radar. It's not like your regular flashlight. It's a searchlight made up of thousands of smaller beams working together. This superpower lets the F-35 scan a huge amount of the battlefield at once, tracking multiple targets like it's nobody's business. But there's the added layer of electronic warfare. With the AN/ASQ-239 system, the F-35 can hear the enemy. It pinpoints the faint whispers of radar and communication systems, revealing hidden threats. Now, wrap all this data together with advanced computer power, and the F-35 pilot has a crystal-clear 360-degree real-time map of the battle. Almost like having a mini war room right in the cockpit. With stealth on its side and a wealth of information at its fingertips, the F-35 transforms into both a devastating offensive weapon and a formidable defensive tool. Israel can leverage the F-35's ability to slip past enemy detection for precision strike missions that cripple the adversary's war machine. Its sensors paint a picture of enemy weak spots, pinpointing missile launch sites or command centers for swift clinical elimination. Defensively, the F-35 acts as an airborne sentinel. Its sensors give Israel an incredible early warning advantage. The moment a threat appears on the horizon, the F-35 can engage or coordinate other defense assets to protect Israeli land and skies. Building a legend at a cost. Let's face it, building a stealthy, super-intelligent war machine with a knack for disappearing doesn't come cheap. It's less like a price tag and more like a national treasury ledger. The F-35 program carries an overall estimated price tag of around $1.7 trillion over its planned lifetime. Imagine this as a mountain of gold worth more than the economy of some small countries. That hefty sticker covers initial research, actual construction of the jets, and future maintenance for decades to come. For a little perspective, the unit cost of one F-35 recently dipped below $80 million. That's about the price of 2 to 3 top-of-the-line luxury yachts. And it's not just the upfront cost. Operating the F-35 is akin to owning a private fleet of those yachts, constantly demanding an influx of cash. Those incredible sensors, fancy stealth skin, and the jet's computer brain demand meticulous attention. Specialized technicians swarm the fighter after each flight, checking and rechecking intricate systems. Let's talk those flight hours for a moment. It's estimated that even with efforts to drive down cost, each hour of F-35 operation currently sits around $35,000 to $44,000. You read that right. Almost as much as a brand new economy car each hour it's in the air. And those expenses are just scratching the surface. Fueling this thirsty bird adds to the bill, not to mention the constant flow of software updates and modifications required to keep all its cutting-edge gear up to snuff in the high-tech arms race. With such incredible costs to build and maintain, you might wonder if the F-35 is a worthwhile investment. Is it a necessary game-changer for defense, or a crippling extravagance? Worth its weight in gold? The F-35 and the Israeli defense calculus. We've seen the astounding price tag, the complex logistical puzzle, and the insatiable demand for resources that surround the F-35. The natural question is, does this marvel of military technology warrant such a massive expense? For Israel, the answer lies in a complicated balancing act. Because on the opposite side of the expense bill, there's the very real and ever-present threat of hostile neighbors and regional instability. Israel can little afford a single misstep in its national defense. Failure brings with it far more than a monetary consequence. That's where the F-35 tips the scales. It's not just an aircraft, it's a force multiplier. That stealthy ghosting ability lets Israel project power to places they couldn't previously reach safely. Its hyperactive targeting helps minimize collateral damage in a densely populated region, a political and humanitarian necessity. The F-35 sensors and intelligence suite help Israel stay ahead of evolving threats, anticipating danger before it materializes. These aren't merely fancy features, they're an edge in a game where the stakes couldn't be higher. Of course, critics could rightly agree that defense budget resources could be allocated elsewhere, social programs, bolstering ground forces, or other essential needs. It's an ongoing debate, and one that goes far beyond just the F-35. What's undeniable is that the fighter jet's extraordinary capabilities represent a significant part of Israel's strategy to protect its people and borders. Whether it's ultimately worth those staggering financial burdens is a verdict that history and Israel's strategic situation in decades to come will have to write. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.